Welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Mary Martin Booker.
And I'm Fatih. We're kicking things right off today as Vice President J.D. Vance is here on campus as we speak, as well as CEO of Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk.
We have a lot of information to give you and people to speak to, but first, the Sandy and John Black Pavilion is the venue for tonight's event. Let's take a look with NewsWatch reporter Sarah Cox.
I am currently outside of the pavilion for Turning Point USA. Behind me are thousands of students waiting to come inside. The weather is cold and rainy, but this weather is not stopping anybody. The vibes are high. The excitement is through the roof. Everyone's so excited to get inside. People are still waiting for the students to go inside because the general admission has not went in until all the students are in. Right back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sarah, for that live look.
Now staying with Turning Point, lines started early today with the queue opening at 11 a.m. and doors opening at 3 p.m. NewsWatch reporter Caitlin Salas has the story.
The University of Mississippi is hosting the CEO of Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. And lines are proving to be the most difficult hurdle for attendees.
I've been here since 9 this morning. Been here several hours and going to be here for several more.
Doors for this event don't open until 3. However, some students started lining up before 11. And for non-student attendees, preparation for this event started long before today.
We have been waiting here for a couple of hours. We got here right when they first opened the doors, parked on the square, walked over to the university. It's really bad, it's just cold and rainy.
Attendees across the line are excited about what is to come from this event.
This is amazing. Really. It just warms my heart to know that my future I feel really good about the future, seeing all these young folks out here just to get in and see such an inspiring people.
Charlie wouldn't want us to give up. This is the best outreach that anybody can go to. So he didn't give up, so why would we?
At not even 1 o'clock, the pavilion is packed like no other. Make sure to keep tuning into NewsWatch to hear the latest updates for the Turning Point USA Tour.
Also happening now, in response to the Turning Point USA event, University of Mississippi College Democrats are holding a counter event titled Mississippi Rise Up Town Hall. At the Gertrude C. Ford Student Union from now until 6:30 p.m., the event is being hosted by Professor of Sociology James Thomas and Tennessee State Representative Gloria Johnson. In a joint statement released Thursday, UM College Democrats stated the counter event is, quote, intended to show that our campus and student body is not beholden to any singular ideology.
Earlier today, our reporters had a chance to go out and speak to people waiting in line about what Turning Point event means to them. This tour visit spread to audiences much further than just here in Oxford, with many ticket holders coming in from out of state.
Oklahoma and Louisiana, and this is way more students than I saw over there, so hopefully we get in, and it'd be nice to see them. No, I'm just I'm really glad to see so many people turned out. It's been nice. I wish I had made some time to go see Charlie when he was alive, but it's inspiring to see so many people come out for his mission.
I went to the memorial in Phoenix, and it was just so moving, and it was such a wonderful Christian experience that when I found out that they were going to continue the Turning Point tour, I had to come here. I had to. He was fighting to defend freedom. He was fighting to make sure that the conversation stayed open because, as he would often say, once people stop talking, bad things start happening. And that was very important that we keep those direct lines of communication between the right side and the other side open.
On the other side of things, students were able to register for free tickets, so many are in attendance. NewsWatch asked how people are feeling about the safety measures being taken with this big of a turnout.
Yeah, I feel like I keep looking around and I see a bunch of cops walking around. We've been studying in the Duff and we see a bunch of police coming in and out. So that feels nice because I was a little nervous coming into it. I was on the phone with my mom, I'm kind of nervous something may happen, but I do feel pretty safe.
I feel like it's really reassuring to have the Oxford police so close and to have our campus police here, and I think it's a really safe campus in general, but to have that reassurance that they're going to be here, and the no bag policy for sure is great too. That makes me feel a lot safer.
That being said, we have confirmation that the university and its chapter of Turning Point USA have taken drastic measures to ensure everyone's safety is a top priority, especially Vice President J.D. Vance.
They just did a bomb sweep for the pavilion, so making sure everything's safe. And yeah, there's also a ton of police here. Police from Mississippi State came up, and I believe maybe some police up from Memphis as well. So just very high security, making sure everyone's safe.
In other Charlie Kirk-related news, last week, former University of Mississippi employee Lauren Stokes filed a lawsuit against Chancellor Glenn Boyce, stating that she has suffered, quote, extreme emotional and financial damages for which Boyce and the university are responsible. Chancellor Boyce fired her after she reposted commentary about the death of Charlie Kirk on her private Instagram account. Stokes claims that Boyce is violating her First Amendment rights. The lawsuit explains that Stokes reposted a post describing Kirk as a white supremacist and condemning his views on women's health care and race relations. After finding out the post offended someone, she took down the repost and offered an apology on Instagram. Her apology included condolences to anyone offended by her post and noted the ideological diversity of her employees at her restaurant here in Oxford, Tarask Kusina.
In light of today's events, some professors have chosen to cancel their classes. And for classes that weren't canceled, some students opted not to attend class, wanting to be ready for the event. The university sent out an email stating that faculty may discuss flexible work options and professors that alter class delivery should inform their students and the dean of their schools. Considering all of this, campus is quiet with empty classrooms while both faculty and students get into the pavilion.
I only had one class today, so I don't really know.
I didn't go to my first 2 classes because I was sick, and then my 3rd class got canceled and my 4th class got canceled. But I think the overall impact is kind of positive. I feel like a lot of people are looking forward to it.
On a big day like this, campus weather is a very important element.
Oh yes, and we see it all here in Oxford. Here's weather anchor Erica Durkee with a recap of today's conditions.
Thanks. So as you can see, and as all of those students waiting in line can surely tell you, the weather has been less than ideal today. It has been cold, less than 50 degrees, obviously raining all day. The wind has been very high, 10 to 15 miles per hour with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Very dreary, but we will have more updates on weather going forward right after this break. Hey Rebs, welcome back. I'm Erica Durkee with NewsWatch. So, as funny as it may be, just as those students are beginning to enter the pavilion, that's when the rain is starting to cease. So we're looking at about 51 degrees, and the precipitation will be much less for the rest of the day, although it still might be there. So the winds, though, those are not dying down. 14 miles per hour heading northwest. The winds are certainly high, and we can see that throughout the region. South Haven, y'all are actually in a wind advisory until 9 p.m., so make sure you're keeping an eye on that and staying safe. And then, you know, it's all looking very similar throughout the region. Everyone was seeing kind of those scattered showers today, and then, you know, mid-50s during the day, and then getting down to the mid-40s into the evening. It is finally starting to cool down. I know a lot of you were excited for autumn, but I'm not excited about this rain. It will continue, though, a little bit into the evening. This 20% precipitation here, that is at about 7 to 10 p.m., so it's going to be there. You'll see about 48 degrees if you're outside this evening. It's going to get as low as 43, though. It'll be a little bit overcast, and those winds are still going to be very high this evening. So whatever you're seeing on your weather app temperature-wise, I would subtract about 5 degrees for that to account for that wind chill, because it's very windy, and then obviously with all of this rain today, the humidity is sky high. Tomorrow, though, it should be a little bit warmer, which is great, and there's absolutely no chance of precipitation tomorrow, which I am very happy about. The wind will still be high, but I am envisioning, you know, a nice autumn day because we have these higher temperatures and no rain, and that is what we have been waiting for rather than this wind and this rain. Looking at our region, though, as I said, it's going to be warmer tomorrow. In turn, tomorrow evening, it is going to be cooler. I mean, look at this discrepancy over here in Corinth and Tupelo with 60s during the day and high 30s into the evening. So it is going to be a lot cooler in the nighttime, but we will have a nice autumn day tomorrow throughout the entirety of our region. No one is expecting any precipitation, thank goodness. I do want to turn everyone's attention, though, to a little bit more of some global or international weather information, because I know there's been a lot of local news right now. It is important that we are keeping our eye over in the Atlantic Ocean. Hurricane Melissa recently tore through Jamaica, and there was a lot of devastation, which I know a lot of us are worried about. Here I am talking about our 25-mile-per-hour gusts of wind, and it got as high as 185 miles per hour. It was very dangerous. There have been some reported deaths. In Haiti, there are some people still missing. 77% of Jamaica is without power, so I know we're very concerned about that. It is now moving north, so it went through Cuba. It decreased to a Category 3 storm. Looking at this map, this is from CNN Weather. We're seeing that this storm is, moving up north through the Atlantic, and although the severity of the storm, the category of the storm is lessening and getting, more favorable, it is also growing. It is increasing in size. Back to Oxford, though, looking through the rest of our weekend. I talked about that the cold evenings. We will see a little bit of frost Thursday evening and Friday morning, but it'll be gone by 8 a.m. And then that precipitation we're seeing is few and far between. It should not affect your weekend plans, so hopefully we are seeing that Oxford autumn that we all deserve, right? I have been waiting for it because it was a crummy day today.
Exactly. I cannot tell you how many times my umbrella flipped inside out because of that freezing wind and rain. It was not good.
Well, Fati, even through all the weather and umbrellas flipping inside out, we were still able to see the motorcade making its way towards campus.
This has been an incredible opportunity for the University of Mississippi, and coming up, we have a look back at the events that led up to Vice President J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk coming to campus. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. With J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk on campus today for This is the Turning Point tour, let's take a look on how we got there. Starting with the assassination of conservative influencer and former CEO of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. On September 10th, Kirk was assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley State University. The event was a part of Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour. Ole Miss was on the tour schedule, with Kirk planning to come today. A gunshot rang throughout the crowd. Kirk was hit in the neck and then rushed to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The shooting sparked an area-wide manhunt.
And walking through the aftermath of the assassination, the Associated Press reports that almost 20 minutes after Kirk was shot, the FBI arrived on the scene. Later that afternoon, President Trump announced on social media that Kirk had died. At 4:21 p.m., FBI Director Kash Patel posted on social media there was a suspect in custody, but later retracted that statement, saying that the suspect was released and the gunman was still at large. The next day, September 11th, the FBI released pictures of their person of interest. At 9:00 p.m. that same day, Tyler Robinson turned himself in to the Washington County Sheriff's Department in Utah. A few days later, on September 15th, Director of the FBI Patel said that DNA found on a towel wrapped around the rifle used in the shooting was a match to Robinson. Prosecutors then charged Robinson with aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstructing justice. Text messages between Robinson and his partner were released, showing Robinson's confession to the assassination.
In an Oval Office statement, President Trump expressed his grief and anger about the death of Charlie Kirk. He stated that Kirk has, quote, become a martyr for truth and freedom. President Trump also posthumously awarded Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Vice President J.D. Vance, who had a close relationship with Kirk, released a heartfelt tribute, calling him a, quote, true friend in his 1,000-word eulogy. 2 days after his passing, Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, addressed the public in a 17-minute video, stating the legacy her husband built, quote, will not die.
Taking a look at Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, who has now stepped into the role of CEO of Turning Point. Before his assassination, Charlie Kirk told Turning Point USA that in the event of his death, he would want his wife to become the chief executive and chair of the board of Turning Point. In Erica's first public remarks after her husband's death, she vowed that she would make the organization even stronger. Erica Kirk will continue the American Comeback Tour of college campuses.
President of the Ole Miss Turning Point chapter, Leslie Lackman, talked to NewsWatch about the importance of Kirk and the vice president coming to campus.
The response has been enlightening and thrilling to see students across the country see Ole Miss as the stop to be. Charlie Kirk really had a message of making sure that students on campus were politically active. We're hoping to provide the message that this is the turning point. Conservatism is alive in colleges across America, and Ole Miss is a founding father of that idea.
This recap brings us to today, where Vice President Vance and Erica Kirk are now about to take the stage speaking on campus. So how big of an event was this for you? Do you know a lot of people going?
Yes, Fati. Well, actually, yesterday, a lot of my classmates were saying they don't care that it's going to start at 11. They're going to start making laps around campus, wait till that clock strikes 11 a.m., and they are going to be getting right in line. So a lot of people are going that I know of. What about you?
Same here. I heard a lot about that. All right, well, we have been covering Turning Point for a while, and Haley, I would love to hear how this is affecting Ole Miss athletics.
Yes, Fati, and I will have more on that coming up. But speaking of important figures, we are going to talk about Cody McMahon and standout Trinidad Chambliss. All of this when we get back from this very short break. Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss, everyone. I am Haley Hood with Sports Watch. Turning Point has turned campus around, including athletics. Athletic administration worked remotely today and closed down the FedEx Student Athlete Academic Support Center. But there is no such thing as a break for the athletes, and the teams got in their practice working around the event and the facility closures. Bringing things to the court, let's talk about Cody McMahon, the senior forward who is making her mark on Ole Miss women's basketball. The Ohio State transfer is already turning heads, averaging more than 12 points per game last season. And now she's stepping into a huge role for the Rebels after losing 4 starters from last year's Sweet 16 squad. Cody isn't just a scorer, she's on the Cheryl Miller Award watch list, again recognizing her as one of the best small forwards in the country. She started all 97 games at Ohio State and earned multiple All-Conference and All-American honors. Be sure to watch her closely this season, especially if she keeps knocking down those threes and helping Ole Miss make some noise in the SEC. The Gillum Center was active this past weekend. The number 9 ranked Aggies swept the Rebels for their 5th straight win. Sports reporter Dylan Labor was there to catch the action and get some feedback.
Ole Miss volleyball took on the 9th ranked team in the country, the Texas A&M Aggies, on Sunday. The Aggies beat the Rebels 3-0. Ole Miss fought hard all 3 sets, barely losing the first 2, 25-23. They lost the final set against A&M 25-14. I talked to freshman Aggie setter Kira Musgrove and asked her about the Aggies' game plan against the Rebels.
We go into every single game, including this one, just going out for a grind. Like, you never know what each team is going to bring. Like, we go with our scouts, and just every team is dangerous. So we came in with a really good mindset.
Ole Miss had 33 kills, 32 assists, and 37 digs. The Rebels were outscored by the Aggies 60-40. I talked to Ole Miss head coach Bree Henry and asked her what improvements she saw from her team and what they need to work on moving forward. I also asked how she plans to get a winning streak rolling as they close out the season.
We're taking a top 10 team, battling every single set and leading sets. Just need to continue to close it out. We should be able to handle the rest of the schedule for the SEC play, and that's something that's very important to us to do. So we'll be working hard still.
Ole Miss volleyball is 10-11 on the season and 2-8 in conference play. They take on Alabama Friday, October 31st at 6 p.m. and look to finish strong against their final 5 SEC opponents in the coming weeks.
I'm Dylan Laborde with NewsWatch.
Thank you, Dylan. Now, after the 18th inning marathon heartbreaker on Monday, Toronto bounced back, taking down the Dodgers 6-2 to even the World Series at 2 games apiece. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. absolutely crushed a 3rd inning homer off Shohei Ohtani. Shane Bieber was obviously unfazed by that 18-inning marathon. He gave Toronto 5 clutch innings when they needed them most. And let's not forget about Ernie Clement. His double in the 7th started a 4-run rally and extended his postseason hitting streak to 10 games. The series heads back to Toronto with that momentum rolling and a fan base of 30,000 who watch from Rogers Center, ready to help bring home a championship to Canada. And all eyes are on Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss quarterback who's turning heads in the SEC this season. The former Ferris standout didn't even win the quarterback position off training camp. That went to Austin Simmons. But after week 2, Chambliss took over and he has not looked back. In 8 games, he has completed 61% of his passes for 1,864 yards, 9 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Plus, he's rushed for 376 yards and 5 more scores, making him an all-around offensive standout. Even coaches like Brent Venables and legend Steve Spurrier have taken notice, with Spurrier saying, quote, "Trinidad may win the Heisman, but who knows?" But Chambliss stays down to earth, as he has stated in an interview early this morning that Coach Charlie Wise Jr. flew him out to Ole Miss days after he entered the portal and shared an impressive highlight reel on Twitter. He had no idea the SEC would even be interested in him. He just wanted a shot to play. The word Heisman, he reminds himself to stay focused on one thing, that Ole Miss motto of protecting the team and bringing success to Oxford. That's all I have for sports. We will see you after the short break for the next play at the Pavilion with Ava Lindsay.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Before we close out tonight, the Turning Point event should be in full swing.
Let's take another look at the pavilion and see what's happening on the scene with NewsWatch reporter Ava Lindsay. Ava?
Now we are out front of the pavilion getting ready for Turning Point USA to begin. Students are still trickling in and we still have not heard word on general admission. We also hear from inside that there is crazy security, including all things metal detectors and safety. Back to you, the studio.
Thank you, Ava. That's all we have for tonight. I'm Mary Martin Booker.
And I'm Fatih Baugh with your latest news.
I'm Erica Durkee with Stormwatch.
And with Sports Watch, I am Haley Hood.
Thank you for watching NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for a full look at tonight's event and the concurrent Ole Miss Democrats Town Hall. Have a great evening.